When it comes to roses, in order for them to look their best and to keep giving you flowers, there's a bit of maintenance that needs to take place. Now, don't be scared about that, because if you get into a good regular program, it can be easily done. And folks, there are so many good, friendly insecticides and methods of treatment, from canola oil to garlic, that are available on the market that can be used. Even that, in terms of the advancement of gardening, we have found that there are biofungicides that are even coming into play. So it's not all doom and gloom when needing to treat these beauties. Look out for names like Organocide Plus, Margaret Roberts Insecticide, Ludwig's Insecticide, and EcoBuzz. All of these are really friendly treatments, folks. And you'll know they're friendly because the amount of garlic that is going to spread and the odor of it within your rose garden is surely going to tell you that these guys are safe. Now, the things that we can do and the tools that we need in order to make our roses continue to flush are very simple processes. It can be done once a week, it can be done whilst you're strolling through the garden, and that's called deadheading. Guys, it's so important, because the more we remove the spent flowers, the more we encouraging new flowers. We don't want the energy to go into an old rose. No, we rather want to prune it back so the plant can get its energy back and start putting it into new buds rather. When it comes to deadheading, the more often you can do it, the better. But there's a general rule, guys, and I want you to follow this. It's quite simple. Here is the spent rose. Dried up, not doing much good. All right. All I want you to do is to count 6 leaf sets down, 5 or 6. Okay, so here's the first set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here is my 6th one. The 6th set of leaves that has 5 good, healthy leaves on it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is where we're going to make our cut. So we've counted 6 down, and we've got a good, healthy set here of 5 adult leaves. And just above it, it's simply a prune. What we've done now is we've gone down to a healthy factory. It's not just 2 leaves or 3 leaves. We've got 5 mature adult leaves, which means that the photosynthesis factory, the engine of the rose bush, is going to be working at optimum level, like firing on all 6 cylinders. When it comes to your floribunda, or what we call your cluster roses, the pruning is slightly different, but the same methodology, but the plant will also tell you where it wants to be pruned. So take a look at this. There was 1 rose, but look at what's happening at the base. There's beautiful new foliage. Same method, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's your adult. So all we're gonna do is simply just get in there and nip that off. And that is where the new cluster will emerge from. To ensure roses are healthy and strong, ensure that you get it right from the moment you bring them home from the nursery. So now that you've got a few basics on how to care for your roses, let's go into how to plant. Guys, this is the fundamental stuff. And remember, we've only got one chance to get this rose in and make sure that it is entirely happy. Follow this same methodology for any other shrubs that you might be planting in your garden. First up is a nice big hole. Hole is dug, and you can see it's nice and deep and nice and wide. Guys, as a general rule, if you're going to be planting a rose plant like this, you can see in terms of the width. We're working on approximately 30 centimeters in width by 30 centimeters in depth. And that's critical. You know, it's when you do this work, imagine we're now going to be putting soft, friable soil back. So when this little guy starts sending out its new feeder roots, it's not hitting walls of hard soil. It's going into soft, friable soil that's going to be full of nutrition. It just makes life a whole lot easier. When choosing your rose plant, guys, use logic. This is a beautiful, shaped, well-balanced rose plant. It's not going off to one side with nakedness on here. There are no yellow leaves, it's got lovely green foliage, and it's sturdy, it's firm in the pot. Those are the things that you want to identify when choosing any plant. Right folks, now it comes down to the soil prep. I'm going to add in some compost into the base of the hole, and the rest of it I'm going to add to the soil which we removed. As a general rule, the more compost you add, the better. But if you had to go on a measurement, say half a bag of compost per plant when we're talking about large shrubs. In the base of the hole, it's going to go some trusted fairy dust, which of course is bone meal. And I'm also going to add in some 315, also organic, which is going to stimulate top growth as well as encourage and just reinforce that rooting. So in that goes, and I just give it a little mix. The rest of your compost you add onto the soil that you removed, and you treat it exactly the same. A couple of handfuls of bone meal and a handful of 315. And this, we're just gonna mix in to our soil that we removed out the hole. Beautiful, we're ready to plant. Remember with pots, all it is a squeeze, grab your hand, pop it over the soil. I know you're going to worry about the thorns, but you can stay away from them. And turn them over, and there it comes out, nice and easily. Try not to disturb what is going on here. You can just open it up just a wee bit. But you'll see all of these white roots, those are the beautiful feeder roots. And they are going to be set free as soon as we put this into this beautiful soil. So let's just check our height, which is most important, in the middle of the hole. When I'm looking at my height, guys, and I'm going to move it to the side so that you can get a better idea. When looking at the height of it, if I take my hand from the top and move it across in a level direction, you can see it's a bit low. You don't want to bury it. You know, it's like burying you in the beach, up to your neck. You're not going to survive for very long. So what I'm going to do, take the plant out, take a bit of the soil mix and just add it in. Okay. Right. Let's take another look. Pop it in. Perfect. In the middle of the hole. And now all we do is take this beautiful mix and we backfill. Firm it down, and I'd encourage you to just make a little wee well around it. Final step is a bit of mulch. And remember, the one thing is never allow the mulch to go right up to the stem of the plant, because that could cause some collar rot, which we don't want. You'll notice these yellow cards hanging around the rose garden. Well, they're not decorative, if that's what you were wondering. Guys, we all know that in terms of taking care of maintaining any garden, that technology is playing a huge part in it. And for this, it makes me incredibly happy. Number one is we're using far less pesticides in these solutions for gardeners, and it's a far more responsible, eco-friendly way of dealing with pests and the unwanted in our gardens, and especially in rose gardens. This sticky trap over here has been up for a couple of days, and it's produced by a company called Insecticide. So the way that the sticky card works, it's got these grids, you can see that. And what you can do is you can then monitor your amount of insects by simply multiplying these out and calculating it. All of those instructions are in the box for you to work out how bad your pest infestation is. So what I like about this is that it's pesticide free, guys. It's easy to manage. Simply just hang them up or stick them into the veggie garden. And plus, the evidence is here. I can see on this that there's whitefly. There's even some thrips on here. And this way, it helps me manage this garden in a more responsible way.